Does President Biden agree with what President Zelensky had to say today, especially that point about punishment?
So I just want to start here for a second because it's really important. I was listening to the couple of clips that you played, and I was in the room today listening to the president's entire speech, and I watched the heads of state listening to the president of the United States. And the thing that people need to remember and why this is so important, before the president speaks, the hall is pretty empty. And as the people hear or understand that the president of the United States is coming, President Biden is coming, it gets completely full. Because what he is about to say, everyone knows that the world is going to be listening. So you think about the message that the president delivered. He talked about how critical, how important it is to strengthen the UN. He talked about how important it is to make sure that the core principles of the UN, if you think about the UN Charter, are upheld, that we stand up for that. And then you saw him, as you played the clip, he called out, he gave a strong rebuke against Russia and what they are doing to Ukraine, the brutal war that they're doing to Ukraine, and how their shameless violation of those core principles and what they are doing. Because remember, this is Putin's war. This is something that he started. He attacked a country sovereignty, its a territorial integrity, because he wanted to. And so we have to remember this was an unprovoked war.
Were you with the president when he heard what Vladimir Putin said today? Was that something you briefed him on, or did some national security people brief him on?
So his national security team briefed him on it. Jake Sullivan is traveling with us as well. I saw the president right before, actually right after his speech, and I saw him just to talk about what was in the world and how the speech was covered. But clearly, that's something that his national security advisors would brief him on. But the president has been very clear. He's been very consistent, and we have warned. There's also the sham referenda that Putin is calling on, so that they can annex and take away territory from Ukraine. That is something that we have been warning about for some time. Look, I think the bottom line is what we have shown, what this president has shown, is leadership across the globe, bringing our allies, bringing our partners together, making NATO stronger than we have seen in modern times. And that is so important, because what Putin thought he was going to do is he thought he was going to make us weaker. And what is actually happening is now we're seeing Putin is the one that is weak.
President had a one-on-one with the new British Prime Minister. Did he secure her commitment to continued support for Ukraine?
You know, what we have seen for the past several months and the past several days is the continued commitment from countries, from the European countries, clearly, and also just our allies across the board, our partners, to make sure that Ukraine is able to continue to fight for its freedom. And you are seeing that, and that is something that the president is going to continue to work on, because it is so important that we step in this moment, that we help this country fight for its democracy. That is what the American people need to understand, and I know they do, but that's why we're involved in the way that we are.
In the campaign for the presidency, the issue of a possible war in Ukraine was not in the front of anyone's mind. When you went into the White House, it wasn't something that was likely to come up. It wasn't in anyone's mind, other than national security people. Now it's one of your most important, if not the most important issue that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. How have you seen this White House unite around that purpose, a purpose that a year ago they didn't know was going to be issue number one?
I think something that people need to understand is that we have a president that was a senator for 36 years. We have a president that was a vice president for 8 years. We have a president that's so steeped in foreign policy and understands how this works and understands how leaders think and has that really critical, important relationships with leaders for decades. And so I think having that in the Oval has made a tremendous difference. And it's made all of us understand how important it is to make sure that we stay on this, to make sure that we do everything that we can. We speak to it, we provide this historic funding to make sure that they have the security assistance to fight, again, for their freedom, to fight for their freedom, for their sovereignty. I'm talking about the Ukrainian people. And we've seen them do it so bravely. And so that's what we're committed to doing. It is so important that we step in as one of a leading country in the globe, in the world, when it comes to democracy, fighting for democracy.